Thanks for tuning in to Arirang News. I'm Devin Whiting in Seoul. President Park Geun-hye has named a new prime minister. She's also named a finance minister who would double as the deputy PM. This comes in response to demands that she overhaul her administration in the wake of the power abuse scandal that's shaken up the political scene and aroused public anger. But the reshuffle may prove too little, too late. Song Ji-sun has our top story.
Just 3 days after replacing key aides linked to the Choi Soon-sil scandal, President Park Geun-hye has named a new prime minister and deputy prime minister in an effort to set up a new and more balanced cabinet to carry her administration through the remainder of her term. Kim Byung-jun, a professor at Kookmin University of Public Administration, who once served as the policy chief to the late President Roh Moo-hyun, is the nominee for prime minister.
We expect the nominee to fulfill his role as Prime Minister, meeting the public's needs with policies catering to the people from their perspective. He's the right person to overcome the current crisis and lead the cabinet for the nation's future.
Meanwhile, current Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-won canceled a planned handover ceremony on Wednesday to take care of state affairs because the Prime Minister nominee will have to undergo a parliamentary confirmation hearing before he can take the post. Financial Services Commission Chairman Ahn Jong-beom was named to replace Yoo Il-ho as Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister. The presidential office said Im, with his depth of experience in both the public and private sectors of finance and the economy, is the right person to carry out the government's major reform drives. President Park has also named former Vice Minister of Gender Equality and Family Park Seung-ju to serve as the new Minister for Public Safety and Security, based on a recommendation from the new Prime Minister nominee. President Park's designation of a liberal Prime Minister could mark the beginning of a politically neutral cabinet in which the new Prime Minister would have greater power over domestic affairs and the head of state could focus more on external affairs like diplomacy and defense. Now all eyes are on how the two will organize the power structure, with Kim saying he will outline the details at a press conference on Thursday. Song Ji-sun, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, an arrest warrant has been issued for Choi Soon-sil. The charges against the woman at the heart of the scandal include wrongful exercise of authority as an accomplice. For details, we turn to Lee Min-young.
Prosecutors have issued an arrest warrant for Choi Soon-sil, the woman at the center of the scandal that rattled the nation, on 2 charges being a party to a crime of abuse of authority and attempted fraud. Choi is suspected of having used her ties to the president to interfere in state affairs and access classified presidential office documents. She also allegedly used her connections to solicit and embezzle a massive amount of corporate donations for 2 government-linked foundations. She has reportedly denied all the allegations against her and claims she never exploited her relationship with President Park. The latest development came Wednesday morning when state prosecutors reported they have found evidence that Choi received around $3 million from Samsung Group last year through VDEC Sports, a company she established in Germany. Prosecutors say Choi used the money to buy a horse for her daughter Jung Yura, who is a dressage rider. Prosecutors say they will soon call in Samsung officials as well for questioning over the matter. They have also found evidence showing Choi may have forced other Korean conglomerates to donate funds to the 2 foundations. Also on Wednesday, prosecutors questioned Ahn Jong-beom, the former presidential secretary for policy coordination, who they believed is tied to the 2 sports foundations.
I feel remorseful. I will take responsibility for whatever I've done wrong. I will tell the prosecutors everything.
Choi has denied any link to Ahn, and Ahn had previously denied all the charges against him, saying that he didn't know Choi. But with the scandal escalating by the day, there have been numerous reports saying that he was deeply involved in the fundraising process for the 2 foundations. The investigation is likely to focus on how the 2 foundations in question were set up and whether Ahn used his position as a presidential secretary to help Choi secure large corporate contributions for the foundations. Lee Min-young, Arirang News.
In other news, North Korea may be planning to launch a ballistic missile in the coming days. A South Korean government source said Wednesday movements have been detected pointing to an intermediate-range Musudan missile being loaded onto a mobile launcher. The source added the launch could come from the Banghyun airport in the northwestern city of Kusong, the same area from which Pyongyang launched its most recent missile in October, which was deemed a failure. Hints of a possible launch also came out of Washington. Citing two U.S. officials, Fox Business Network reported Tuesday local time that the regime is preparing to launch an intermediate-range Musudan missile in the next 24 to 72 hours. If that's true, it would be the regime's 9th Musudan missile launch this year. Korean stocks plunged today on growing political uncertainties here and abroad, with the benchmark Kospi dropping to its lowest level since July. The main index fell about 28 points, or a little over 1.4%, to end at 1,979, falling below the psychologically important 2,000 mark. Analysts attributed that to the political scandal surrounding President Park Geun-hye's confidant and, in the U.S., a somewhat unexpected resurgence in Donald Trump's campaign to win the White House. Also looming are central bank meetings this week in several countries, including the U.S. The Kosdaq, meanwhile, which features tech and bio stocks, plunged 3.25% to end at 606. And that's all for this hour. Thanks for watching. More to come on News Center at 10 p.m. Korea time.